Hello everybody, I'm back again and today with a new synthesizer, a new VST audio unit and a AAX synthesizer which we are going to release early February. And this one is not quite the finished one because there are some little details we still need to fix, and some people will recognize this one as being Vecto, which we made for the Reason platform. And we had several requests from people who use Reason, and next to Reason also other platforms, other sequencer hosts. And we had some people who saw the tutorial about Vecto and kept on asking, will this be ever a VST audio unit or a AAX version, so essentially a synthesizer for the other music programs? And here it is, Vecto. It's going to be released early February. And the reason why I do wear glasses is because I have a pretty big screen, and this is the normal size screen. And I get a bit older also, so I need to check with the glasses now. I zoomed in for you on the live stream so that you can see the user interface very big. And the cool thing about Vecto, it is a synthesizer which has everything visual. So compare it a bit like Go2. And it has some very nice, cool sounds on board. You just heard one of the cool Jamal sounds. And sure, okay, so for the guys who maybe missed it, this live stream will be also in the playlist for the live streams. Okay, I'm checking now if everybody can see a bit the synthesizer. I see here on the right side I have my MacBook, and yes, we have it all clear. Cool. So maybe I even could zoom it in a bit more, but I'm not sure about that. Let's see how it all looks. I think this is okay. Okay, what is the story about Vecto? We made this some time ago, especially for the Reason users as a rec extension, and because sometimes we had to request, for instance, Bluetooth to make that one into rec extension, but Bluetooth doesn't fit because the rec extension has a bit of different size format and you cannot have all the pages. So we made Vecto and it became very popular, and it's a very, very nice synthesizer. As you can see, it has 4 oscillators, it has an XY, and some of the functions, which I'll explain a bit later, are maybe a bit different from what the other VST we have in appearance, but that's because it's, of course, from this rack extension. So for instance, the waveform you can select here in this menu, but there's also a dial for selecting the waveform. This has to do with the way the rack extension was built up, but we wanted to keep it the same in the terms of workflow. So if there are any Reason users who uses a lot Vecto, and if they use next to Reason also a other music program, they can very soon also do a small cross grade so that they can use Vecto also in the other host. Okay, what is then also, of course, different compared to the rec extension, that is that we have a bank manager, which is equal to what we have in Predator 2, Submoon Base 2. And here you see I marked a few of the cool sounds. Here from the Jamal Bank, the 50 type of sound. Let's play another one. Well, the cool thing about Vecto, it has additive waveforms, it has analog modeled waveforms, but also a nice range of samples. So take this preset, which is a marcato strings, and that one uses also a neat feature inside Vecto. Well, let's play it first. So it, as you can hear, it triggers it, but the triggering, that does happen here inside the oscillator. It has here the retriggering on 1/8 beat, so it has some very nice, interesting features. And of course, this is also with tempo sync. So if I would play now a beat, and I play the keyboard, you don't see the keyboard because my webcam doesn't want to work, but believe me, I'm playing the keyboard now. So in this preset, you see oscillator 1 uses strings, as you can see here. And okay, you see we have a modulation matrix. This modulation wheel here is also from the rack extension. So if I use the modulation wheel, you can see it moving. So it's based around these 4 oscillators. Each oscillator also have the spread functions for a multiple oscillator sound, and you can combine them with the Vecto. But maybe it's nice that I simply play some sounds of it, because that is maybe sometimes a bit better than only talking about it. Okay, somebody's telling me play Mehoki preset. Okay, let me see what that one is. That should be bank 1 or 2. I guess an alphabetic pro. Somebody just mentioned a preset inside the chat box, so let me see if I can find it. It's not that one. I think it's in this bank, the second bank of Jamal. Of course, a lot of great presets by our in-house top programmer Jamal. Oh, I cannot find it yet. Ah, here it is. No, somebody is asking. No, this is not a new rack extension. This is the VST version from a rack extension, so it's the other way around. So no, from a rack extension we did build dedicated for the Reason platform. We got a lot of requests of people. Don't you will make so they saw this tutorial about Vecto and they asked, is there no VST or audio unit of it? And yeah, here it is. Next month it will be released. So okay, let me see. I picked just one or two presets. So you see, the user interface is very friendly. Everything is visible. There's a modulation matrix, 2 AAX are on board, and a nice amount of very nice presets. Let's see, play another one. You see also percussion. So the range of waveforms, you can see analog waveforms, additive waveforms, a range of samples, and they can be combined with 4 oscillators. Okay, so let's play a few more presets. With the XY you can do some odd stuff, of course, and if you know the XY, for instance, from Go 2 or Blue 2 or from Predator 2, you see a lot of stuff which you already will recognize. So for instance, the having time quantizations or space quantizations, all these things are inside Vecto, of course. Now let's play. It has a very nice also for bass, good sounds, and an Arpeggiator. Yeah, see, Arpeggiator was on-off stamp and velocity. Compared to the other Arpeggiator, which maybe know from Go 2 or maybe Blue 2 or Predator 2, it's a bit more limited, but still you can do some fantastic sounds with it. Let me play you another example. Let me see. Need to go to the right bank. Okay. It's also an Arpeggiator sound. This combines the cajon together with a waveform, traditional waveform. So the percussion is often also very tuned, or these bells, which are nice for somebody is asking what this. Yeah, well, this is another different synthesizer compared to the other synthesizers. It combines samples with waveforms. You can compare it a bit with Bluetooth, but it's a bit easier to use because it has not all the many other synthesis features of Bluetooth. So it's in some part limited down, but that doesn't make that it is not a very powerful synthesizer, because here what you can hear, you have some very nice sounds also by using the Arpeggiator. So we have a high quality samples on board. Let me play a sound from the ambient bank. You see a very mellow sound, space sound using a range of vocal samples and strings, real strings. And what we added also here, if you have the main envelope, we added the button here. Then you can use linear envelopes, which are nice for pad sounds. So let me play a few more. Of course, the okay, the user interface is still not fully ready because today we had the final graphics, but it's still not 100% ready. But these are very little details. For instance, if you go here, the mix slider of the FX is still not the correct one, and on a few small other things. But as it looks now, that's going to be the final version with also the option of a big screen. So we also add a big screen version. That's also the reason why I use the glasses, because currently I have the normal screen version and I have a pretty big screen. So I need to have the glasses to see the graphics. So let's play a few more sounds. Of course, there's the introduction bank. Here we have some more presets. Tonal axis had also a few nice sounds. It's a nice pad sound. So because of the also traditional waveforms which are there, it's very nice to do some classic synth sounds. Okay, I'm gonna check now. I see some questions dropping in. Well, the filters are pretty much the same as the other ones. We have two filters on board, and there you can see all the different types of filters I think over the 20 types we have. Also very interesting is that we have a positive comp filter, negative comp filter, form 2 and form 4 are combined filters, vowel filter. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff inside of it. The main power is, of course, the range of very good presets we collected in all these times. And, of course, it's very useful and very user-friendly because everything is in front. There are no pages you need to switch for going to the modulation matrix or to select one of the LFOs. It's and that's also one of the big success, of course, of Go2. Everything is in front, and if you want to do something very fast, you don't have to search. That's the advantage if you have, of course, a synthesizer with less deep features. That is an advantage of it. So limitation makes people creative. So but still, even with this user interface which shows everything, you have a lot of features. This is it's a bit out of noise sound. Of course, this synthesizer is particular more to the real synth sound. So for let's say for EDM or that kind of music styles or the harder music styles, it's not that suitable. Of course, if you make hardcore or all that different kind of music styles or hard style or raw style, then for instance Predator 2 or Raw is far more a useful synthesizer. Although maybe in this type of music you also might want to use a nice pad sound. So if still nice to check in this one. There's an ambient bank, of course. Let me see. Just pick one of the presets. It's a nice bell. So all in very high quality. By the way, also the Reverb has the high quality reverb, which you also can use in Predator 2 or Go2. It's a very high-end reverb. Let me see if I have a sound where. So here we have the reverb. Let's make it a bit more prominent and make it a very long one. And it's really, you will hear that it is very nice. When I press F2, I can mute it. So now it's the dry sound. Still nice. Or I can put in the FX2 again, the reverb. Our first FX can be chorus, ensemble, flanger, phaser, or widener, and the second FX can be delay or reverb. So in some area, it's very similar what we did with Go2, only the way the oscillator is built up is very different. You have 4 oscillators, you have a range of samples, so it's a very creative machine. Okay. Yeah, quad, somebody has asked what's the difference between quad and Vecto. Quad is a very different type of synthesizer which uses phase distortion to create the sound. And Vecto uses traditional waveforms, additive waveforms, and samples to create the sound, and by using this central XY pad. Okay, let's go. If I find a wash strings, let's just play it. Let's go back to Jamal. He always has some fantastic material. Here we have analog. I'm not sure what it is. Let's play it. Analog style bass. Okay, I toggle each time between the manager and the main screen because in the manager I have here made the star function so that I can find back these sounds which are, I think, interesting to show you. But of course there are far more great presets than only the one I selected just 1 hour before. Okay. Soundtrack, this is nice. Let's play that one. Okay. FX sounds are very cool with Vecto, making some sound effects. So people who are doing music for games or maybe score or television work, it has some very good sound effects. So I'm just jumping through the presets. Let's just pick one here. The XY you can have direct. Change it. So maybe it's good that I show very shortly what we have inside. We have, of course, the default preset, which is in the default bank. And then you see oscillator 1, which has a sub-oscillator. If you go to the left, you have a sinus wave. Go to the right, you have a square. So that is possible. There is a drifting in each oscillator you can arrange with drifter mount. You can pan an oscillator left, right. There is spread, which makes it a multi-oscillator sound. In this case, 2 oscillators. Then we have here the way you can control, for instance, the volume, the XY or the filter envelopes, because FM synthesis is also possible with this one, with this synthesizer. Vector on means that you have a direct control of all the 4 oscillators. So let me put them on and pick some of the waveforms just very fast. And of course I can record this. Replay. Show it with the where is it again? Edit on, and then I can add it. So really I mean the name does say it, or Vecto. It's already vector based synthesizer. So you can use this vector here, this XY field to go from one oscillator to another. There's also re-triggering options inside the oscillators. A few routings. You have the option to go to the filter or filter 1 and 2, or to a different filter, and then you have, of course, a FM setup. Let's see if I have. Yeah, this is an FM setup. So now 1, 2, and 3, you see all 3 of them have sine waveform, and I use oscillator 1 to go to oscillator 2. So you have essentially FM synthesis, and the volume is controlled by the free envelope 1, which is down here. So you also have essentially a kind of 4 operator FM synthesizer. Well, you could say, oh no, I only use 3 for this FM type of sound and combine this together with a vocal. So these sounds are in the example bank, where I show a few things which you can do. Now here the Arpeggiator is used. And you can see here the XY keeps on moving, is in circle. Let me see if there are more things. Let me see, I'm not sure what this one is. Okay, in this case it is the saw waveform, and the XY is now here in the modulation matrix addressed to filter, to the filter. That of course is also possible. Okay, so you see, yeah, this one somebody mentioned is sehr useful for patch. Yeah, definitely. Or typical moving sounds out of the ordinary. This is from Andrew Skelton, Pat, this choir type thing. The arrange, how many samples you see here? The analog waves, additive waves, spectral waves. These are harmonics. Samples starts here in sample group 1, sample group 2, sample group 3. Big samples are the really big stereo samples. Then we have tuned percussion. Yeah, there are a lot of stuff, especially picked for making some great sounds. So also AAX samples, which are sometimes very odd material, which is great for pads. And also in this one, you hear how nice the reverb is when I play this sound without reverb. Dry. Okay, now with the reverb, and that's really very powerful in terms of quality. Of course, it's very obvious that I am a total reverb freak already from the 80s. I was totally obsessed by reverb, and so proud that together with John Ives we could create Arpeggiator 2, and of course the reverbs which we use now in our synthesizers. They are really top quality. You don't need to go outboard for having a fantastic reverb. So now I put the mix very extreme, play it again just for the reverb fun. You see, very nice. So this is from the bank. Let's see what he has more. Foreign Robert? No. It sounds like a FM type of sound. Hunted. Let's see what that kind of preset is. It's of course nice if you do some maybe television work or something like that. So Vector is really great because we have a nice amount of very good quality already on board. And as mentioned, Vector will be part of the Explorer 5. So if you own already the Explorer 5, all you have to do somewhere in February, early February, we are going to release a Vector. And then you only have to download the latest version of the Explorer 5 bundle, or if you go scroll down more downwards and you simply download Vecto, run the installer, and then you would have Vecto as a synthesizer. So the whole Explorer 5 bundle has a very nice expansion. And that's not all, because after Vecto we have something new, which is a FX, which is not a rack extension or yet a VST. So that will be a totally new concept, and that also will be part of the Explorer 5 bundle. So the Explorer 5 bundle gets very cool, and very soon we have then 5 products which are then new compared to the Explorer 4. Okay. Yeah, let's see if somebody has maybe questions. I'm just checking it out here. There's a bit more people in the chat room now, of course, because they heard, yeah, there will be a new synthesizer. So again, Vecto, what you see is the main screen. The other screen you have is the bank manager, and that you saw already. I went to it many times. And then there will be the back panel, but that's not ready yet. There's some settings you can do. This one is still the beta version. Yeah, and it's very powerful. Absolutely. Okay, let's maybe show you a few other things which are interesting to show. Yeah, the play mode you have, the chord is a bit done differently here because it's from the rack extension, and some things in the rack extension do work a bit different, and that's still the same here in the VST version. So you have here chord mode. So let me go to, let me see if I can find something which uses this. I think this one uses chord. Very nice, uses the comp filter, very cool effect sound. And here in the play mode you see chord is 7. This means that 7 notes are used when I hit one note. And that's the way you can create then, for instance, chords. But let's do this from a default patch. Okay, here's a default patch. I pick a saw waveform. Here it is. And then here I could say chord would be 2. And then I need to select the note 2 here. And this one I need to detune. And so notice 2 is selected. And then I can pan it. I also can say 3, a chord of 3. And then I pick note number 3 to set number 3. Now I have a 3 chord by using 3 notes. So this one is for selecting it so that you can select the note and detune it and pan it. And this is the amount. The chord is the amount. So this is 3, 1 note playing. And then we have, of course, strumming. And this also can be MIDI synced. So also chord is here in Vecto, but a bit different way done. So, but I believe this is pretty much already explained in the video tutorial about the rack extension of Vecto, but that I need to check. So let's see if we have of course the search category where we can have presets which use chord. Okay, let me see. So this is search. I click synth sounds with chord. Okay, and go back and you see here chord is indeed used. Go back to the manager, maybe we find some other one. Yeah, somebody said, yeah, I found Vecto. Yeah, Vecto is a really very nice, very popular rack extension because it does sounds which a lot of other synthesizers don't do. It's a combination of really also analog type of stuff together with some samples. You can do a lot of different types of sounds. FM synthesis, this is also. You almost would say that this is maybe a sample, but it's not the case. It's FM synthesis. Now you see here it has the play mode chord, offs. Now I play one note, and I use here oscillator 1, oscillator 2, and oscillator 3. And oscillator 1 goes into oscillator 2, so it modulates oscillator 2 and oscillator 3. Let's see. seems to go to itself. Oh, that's a good one. That's interesting. But what you then can use to control the volume of the oscillator is here free envelope 1 and free envelope 2. You see down here free envelope 1 and free envelope 2. Because with FM synthesis, if you use one oscillator to modulate the other oscillator, you need a volume control inside this modulating oscillator to shape the sound, to make the sound useful. So you get also typically FM type of sounds. Okay, let's... Now here's the chord mode combined with... Yeah, somebody does say Prophet VS. Yes, I think it's very similar in the way you could create patches, because the Prophet VS also had this joystick, which was an XY, and also could combine the 4 oscillators. And the same you can do here with Vecto, of course. The range of samples is, of course, different with Vecto compared to the original. I know. Now the Prophet VS had, of course, a different type of waveforms, and of course the wave station is a bit similar in terms of what we do here. Only again we use different type of waveforms and samples. But if you're looking for this type of sound, moving sounds, then of course Vecto is a very good synthesizer for you. If so, when I go to the pad sounds, let's see what we have there. Ambient Shine. I have no idea. Just let's play it. Okay, somebody does mention it was released in 2016 as a rack extension. Yeah, how time flies, isn't it? Ridiculous. Okay. So this one uses Metal X. These are all my own creation samples, which I use sometimes very odd stuff to create these samples, processing, and X Metal is a very eerie sound. So this is the pads bank. This uses the phaser, and what the cool thing is, of course, everything is visible. If you want to have, let's say, a longer attack and even a longer release, you can adjust it here. So this is called Angel Storm. Let's go to another one. Breath. Well, this is pure an example why Vecto is very powerful. Oscillator 2 has a square waveform, and it uses symmetry modulation, what they often also call pulse width modulation. Maybe some of you know the 60 or the Jupiter 8 or Poly 6, where you can do the pulse width modulation. So it has also a analog type of build up. And in this analog type of sound you really create in Vecto, instead of sampling maybe a old machine, you really create the sound in Vecto and combine this. So with this is the pad part 2. This one goes to filter 2, so filter 2 can be in parallel mode, and the oscillator 1 does this metal sound. So in this you can combine. And what happens here is that the XY moves from left to right, goes from this metal sound more to the synth sound. Of course, I could edit this. Then I need to open edit, and then I have, okay. Then I could pull this again. Okay, it doesn't want to pull. Okay, why it doesn't? Okay, I could have a little bug here because it doesn't move. I want to move it. Let's see what it's causing it. Okay, yeah, okay, it is still not out, so most likely I have a little bug discovered, which I need to check. But what happens is it starts with this metal sound and then it moves to oscillator 2 in terms of volume, where it moves from this metal more to the square waveform. Yeah, somebody says a good question. We already have a Vecto converter for presets. So I think what we have now is Vecto VST presets converting to rec extension, and also the other way around, because there are some third parties programs in the Reason platform which made patches for Vecto, and they can be converted. We have a converter. I can show you. Add track instrument, and we put that in the home page under the page tools. Okay. Now here it is. That's what we also used. So here you can select the original file or multiple files and convert them into the VST format. So this is rec extension format, presets to VST. So people who made presets for Vecto, that's very easily then converted to the VST version. Yeah, the RE has the same reverb. It's exactly the same code. Yes, that's correct. Okay, so I'm just playing around here with the presets, of course. Notch filter. Okay, let's play another one. Let's just go. That's nice. These are the ladies. So yeah, it's a very versatile synthesizer, really a nice addition to the whole bundle of Explore 5, because we have all kind of taste. I mean, not everybody is into hardcore or hardstyle or uses raw kick for that purpose or raw, and not everybody is ambient music for which would be, for instance, for Bluetooth or Vecto or maybe Predator 2. So each synthesizer has its own focus and strong points, and yeah, it's I think especially for pads, of course Bluetooth is already great, but also Vecto, and Vecto is maybe then from that point a bit easier to control because you don't have all the other top features of Bluetooth in terms of synthesis, combinations, a lot of pages with different LFOs, different types of envelopes, the multiple envelopes come to mind, which has Bluetooth. So Bluetooth has about, I think it was about 13 pages, and here with Vector everything is in front of you. So it is from one part maybe a bit more limited, but it doesn't mean that you are then limited in great sounds. I mean, the quality of the components is all top-notch. That's also what you can hear with these samples. Of course, these samples are really dedicated to making synth sounds, so you will not find a piano or something like that, acoustic piano. But this, for instance, a Jupiter and Fox. So this one uses again in oscillator 1 saw waveform, it's oscillator 2 square, it's for the pad sound. And then that one is combined with the samples of the choir. That makes it really very... Yeah, I see somebody did miss the first 15 minutes. Well, don't bother about it, because you can always watch back this live stream. I will put it in the playlist live stream, and you can check everything what I told about Vecto. Okay, so just go to another preset, just another. That's more traditional. It's more traditional pad sound. Yeah, of course. Let's go back to Jamal. That's also awesome. Zurich Gnomes. That one's right. Yeah, that's a good one. Joost Sandvliet is asking, do you have questions announced to us? If I have questions for you, I have no idea. Yeah, it's absolutely, Vecto is absolutely a lovely synthesizer, and of course we kept it very long exclusive for rack extension. We really wanted to have something special for the rack extension, dedicated for the Reason users. But of course, they opened the whole platform also for VST, and then we thought, yeah, why not also make then something which is very cool, where we are very proud of, and that to make that one also a VST version. Yeah, the low end is always great in our synthesizers. Somebody just mentioned. So these type of sounds are great. Let me see. Oh, we had that one before. Yeah, this one indeed sounds a bit like a D50. So some top quality sounds, of course. Sound effects on board. Let me see. Move the dot. Well, okay. Moving the dot is this one. Now I'm moving the dot. So these are some FX sounds. Yeah, dirty bass. Well, somebody's asking. So some music styles, of course, it's also depending on who made the presets and which producers made some presets. For instance, this Shockstar has quite some nice wobbles. It's a whole bank with wobbles. I'm not sure if there are basses. There's not typically a bass bank. Of course, you could do some good basses. Let's see if we have some basses in the presets here. I don't see it. No, we don't have a bass bank. Yeah, of course, that's what Vecto, of course, pushes the programmers in a certain area. But I think essentially you could make some good basses with it. This is a T8, Prophet T8. Everybody, maybe somebody knows it. So this is already has, of course, some very good filters on board. So that's up to you. Somebody thinks the reverbs are different. I have to check with John if the reverb of the recent version is different than this one. To my ears, this sounds very... So here we have the reverb. Let's make it more spacey. Size, bigger. Length. What is nice to add also a bit chorus ahead of it. Oh, that's a good one. Could you please make a VST version of Vecto? Well, that's the VST version you're looking at. You obvious that missed the start of the live stream. This is the VST version of Vecto, and the original one was Rack Extension, and now early February we are going to release this one as a VST, audio unit, and AAX. So not only the rack extension or the propeller head reason users can use Vecto then, but also people who are using other music programs. So we had quite some requests of people who saw the Vecto rack extension, the tutorial, and asked us if we would make that one also as VST, and it happened now. Okay, so where are my synth sounds? Yeah, xylophone. Xylophone is used in this one, so that's nice percussive. Xylophone with vocals. So a lot of presets on board, of course. Let's pick from the here, from Audition. So I'm just... Okay, an arpeggiator sound. Somebody does made basses 06. Oh, hey, that's a good one. Yeah, I did miss it. I'm having my glasses on because this is the normal screen version of Vecto, and I have a big screen, and I normally use the big screen version of our plugins on my own screen, but the big screen version of Vecto is not ready yet, so I have a bit of trouble in reading some stuff here. So I put on some study glasses, which helped me to see also a bit better the user interface. And indeed, there's a basses bank. You see, we have also some real bass samples. I hear my keyboard clicking a bit. Sorry for that. Maybe I should play the microphone. I mute my microphone, then I play a few basses for you. so they are on board. But of course, one of the powerful things about Vecto are the pad sounds. Here's a whole bank with chords and strings. Let me see. Clean. There's all the choir sounds, which are, let's see, sounds a bit like the Fairlight type of sound. Okay, strings. Let's see what this one is. This is more a bit more classic. So even the strings are not bad. It's a very high quality string sound. And okay. So when I started with this great sound from Jamal. Let's see. Where was it again? Ah, this is another great one. Okay, how long before I can update my Explorer 5 and play with this myself? Yeah, it's planned for the release of Vecto is planned for somewhere in early February. So what you see here, there are a few things which are still not ready, waiting for the fader here. This is another one we used here. Some panel lines we still need to add, but in general it's ready. All the presets are ready. We need to, of course, make the Mac version. And so let's say in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it will be available. And then, yeah, as mentioned, you only have to log in if you already have Explorer 5. Log in and download the latest version, and then you have a lot of fun with Vecto. Okay, guys, so let me see if I maybe missed one presets. Yeah, it's very cool, and it's a great addition to the Explorer 5 bundle. And what we also will do, we offer, because some of the Reason users not only use Reason, but sometimes they also have Logic or Cubase. And if they then own Vecto, they can have, for a very nice price, a cross-grade to also for the Vecto VST version, so that they can use both of them. Okay, guys, I would say thank you for watching. And some people did ask me if I would be at NAMM show, but I'm not at NAMM show because of Vecto. So I'm not at NAMM show. But you see, with YouTube, you can still present the new things which John and I are working very hard on. And this one is the very first one which is going to be released. A very cool new toy for you guys. So thank you for watching, and maybe see you back next week. Maybe we have done a bit more news. Okay. Thank you, guys.